And Celestial Guardians came out with a bang. Not only does it have expert solo battle guides, which I will be making videos for ASAP as they will come out in the coming days, it also was released with its own drop event, the Rayquaza one. And as you can see here, there down here, I put the 5 promos that it comes with. That it consists of 3 alternate arts, the Celestial Guardian Execute, as well as the Genetic Apex, Froakie, and Farfetch'd. But the chase cards will for sure be the 2 Rayquazas that we see here, the non-EX and the EX version. Despite them not personally, like in my opinion, I don't think they're meta relevant at all. But by far, they're fan favorites, and they'll be like a must for your collection. Like the art is beautiful, especially the one that we'll get for just like 50 wins. That's like its own separate thing, but that's like a full art version of the EX. Beautiful card. Regardless, without further ado, let's look at the event as a whole. As always, there's 4 different levels, starting from beginner all the way to expert. And once again, they guarantee a pack as well as hourglasses for completing it the first time around. Regardless of the difficulty, you just beat it, you'll get the 1 pack, the 1 shop ticket, and the 15 hourglasses here. That's the same for intermediate, and the same for the other 2, advanced and expert. But for the first time ever, advanced, they removed the beat it 5 times. So for finally, we're able to focus fully on just beating expert, the expert difficulty. So all you have to do is beat beginner, intermediate, and advanced just once through, making sure you complete these tasks and you never look at these difficulties again. And no worries, the list I will be providing, as you see here, RAYQUAZA Drop Event, will be able to clear all the levels and all the tasks from beginner all the way to expert. But before I break this down, that list is made specifically to counter the expert level deck. So let's look at that first. And right off the bat, I want to emphasize that this is literally a GRENINJA turbo deck. I'm aware that they have RAYQUAZA. I'm aware that they could ramp it with Manaphy, but in practice, not only do they barely even see it or play the Rayquaza, they never like actually build up on it. They just focus heavily on bringing out GRENINJA as fast as possible. The 2-1-2 line that we see here with GRENINJA is something that we might see in competitive like rare candy builds, as we see they're playing rare candy. And only time will tell if that's what they end up doing, like if players are going to opt out for the 2-1-2 or if they're going to cut out the stage 1 completely. Although that seems a little unhinged, you never know what ends up being like the most consistent, especially in like a 20 card deck. Regardless, as for this, I want to skip over that for now as we look at the supporters. As you see, they're playing Research, clearly, like obviously as a staple. They're playing Leaf and Irida. Leaf's purpose is to back out Rayquaza, but the fact that they barely bring it out or barely even play it makes it where like Leaf is dead. Like the only actual supporter they're playing is Irida to heal for 40, which does come up, which is a big reason of why it's a big reason why I chose the deck that I did for this challenge. And certain decks didn't work out, because essentially when I first looked at this list, my thought was, okay, I'm gonna beat it with Masquerada Magnezone, because Magnezone's a great card that knocks out basically everything in this deck, but Masquerada is like a complete counter to any EX, especially the Rayquaza, whether you added a Geo or Red to hit the final extra little damage that is required to knock it out. However, due to the fact that they barely built up Rayquaza and they were usually just on GRENINJA dealing damage, Masquerada tend to feel pretty mediocre in most occasions, so we ended up going with Magnezone Electivire, which this deck is able to cruise through all 4 difficulties, as I mentioned before, while clearing all the tasks. So you want to go through the first 3, like I said, like just want to do them once and never look back, especially now that they removed the win 5 times from the advance. Because, and the reason I stress this is because the only thing that guarantees you a pack is beating it in expert level, which this deck is able to do very easily. So don't worry about like, oh, am I going to struggle? Use all your stamina on expert level, because it guarantees you the pack, which guarantees you the highest chance of seeing all the promos that honestly you do not want to miss on these, especially the 2 Rayquazas, right? The other ones are cards that we could get otherwise, but again, as a collector and as a fiend, I want all the cards. But yeah, that's not here nor there. Going back to the list that we see here, the idea is best highlighted in the gameplay that will follow this video, but regardless, it's pretty streamlined, as it's basically their race to GRENINJA and your race to Magnezone, and usually you win because you're able to knock them out on the way there. But regardless, the 1 Volkner is just a tool to sort of get you back into the game in a situation where you lose the race. You're able to just bump up the Electivire into an attacking position and take over once again. But the main focus is definitely just to set up a Magnezone and just one-shot everything on your way out. So that's why we're playing 1 Communication and 1 Iono for consistency. And although they're not guaranteeing you the cards you need, it's anything that helps you get there is better than nothing. And the reason we max out Geo is similar to the reason why we ended up not using Masquerada, and that's like the reason we don't use Red. Due to like the lack of them actually playing Rayquaza, Red doesn't even like come up. It would have been dead most of the time. Meanwhile, Geo helps us reach like definitely like different ranges, if not the exact same ranges as Red. And for example, Geo plus Magnemite on a lead mana fee is a knockout that could just win you the game outright. Although it doesn't always happen, being able to hit mana fee for 50 is something that's like good in the meta. Like it made so many decks relevant going against Gyarados, and this it's no different. Being able to make your Magnemite hit that range of 50 is huge. Ultimately, there might be various decks or like strategies that are able to yield the results in this event, but I truly believe this is like the best and most like not most effective and most efficient way of doing it. So honestly, like what I want to give y'all is a way of like to not be wasting your time like fighting. Like this deck will get you the victory, and so it's just a matter of like rinse and repeating so you get all the promos you want, or the promos you're aiming for. So if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like. As always, I'd like to remind you that we post everything Pokemon Pocket here, and it's with the new set. You could look forward to pack openings, me breaking down a review of the set as a whole, as well as expert solo battle guides, and so much more. So if any of that interests you, please consider subscribing, and above all else, stay pro. All right, going second, which is, it's fine, I guess. Ideal, really, especially if they don't have cape on the... There's like multiple lines where we just like auto destroy them turn one if... But yeah, this is not one of them. Ideally, it's like if they open mana fee and we have Geo with... excuse me. Geo with Magnemite, we're in the money. Otherwise... Pokeball, I'm not putting anything down. That's interesting. We'll use our own Pokeball. We'll hold communication until it's like necessary, I guess. And I'll even hold on to this Magnemite for now. We do have to fear actually... them going rare candy into Greninja, but if they do that, they don't attack, right? So we're kind of okay with that. We could hold our cape for now. Just do our 40 damage here. Realistically, if they go into Frogadier, we're fine. If they go into Greninja with the rare candy, we're not like complete. Okay, you see, like this, we're fine. Granted, they could heal with. They do have access to Irida. They also have. Okay, never mind. I take all of that back. And we're back into the situation where most they could do is just go into... I'm blanking, but I know what I'm trying to say. Into a Greninja, but they can't attack with it. Okay, let's go Communication. I'm actually going to send away the Electivire in hopes to see Magneton. We don't, but this is not just as good, but not a bad thing to start building up in the back as well. I'm trying to think of like what they could do that would punish us. They only play one of this guy, so we're kind of safe on that and that aspect. So I guess we could start building this up as well. And technically, yeah, again, most they could do is go into a Greninja and hit us for 20, so we're fine. Kind of want to hold this Magnemite just in case we have Iono and we could see more cards. So more cards in hand is better. Yeah, let's just take out this the Frogadier, and keep on moving. Next turn, if they just leave the Froakie up front, we're able to swap in Electabuzz and hit it for 60 for the knockout. However, we'll see how that goes. Okay, Manaphy. They might just swap out here. Oh, they just stayed in. Okay. Well, and that's game, because if they see Rayquaza, I don't know why I'm struggling to pronounce that. I don't know if it's Qua or Quay, but regardless. They're not playing whoops, that's not the card I meant to do. They're not playing Sabrina or Cyrus, so it doesn't really matter that they already heard it. What matters more is to just start evolving it. I mean, start building it up. And yeah, this is basically game because, like I said, if they were to see the EX, they have no way of building it up in time. And this deck that we're going against is basically just Greninja Turbo. So outside of that, that's like all they're realistically doing. The one game, honestly, I've played so many games just trying to find out like the perfect, not the perfect, but like the optimal way of like going about this challenge. And honestly, like the Rayquaza, they played it once and they didn't even build it up. So yeah, it's literally this easy. And yeah, essentially, I've tried the Masquerada list. I probably mentioned this in the deck profile part, and it works. It's just like, since they don't actually go into Rayquaza or Rayquaza, you're like the Masquerada feels so bad, although it's like a great counter to what the deck is supposed to do. Since all they're doing is turboing out Greninja and actually swinging with it, your best bet is a deck like this that's just pure electric, dealing as much damage as possible. Regardless, as always, I do multiple tries, like multiple examples, so you can see how it goes. So let's jump right into the second example. All right, I'm going second again. I don't know if it's guaranteed going second, but I go second a lot in the few attempts that I've done. As you see here, they start Froakie. So once again, I can't like show the if they start Manaphy line, but okay, there's Cape. So now if they evolve into the second form, we actually can't one-shot it, but we're okay with that. Let's go Pokeball here. It's no guarantee that we'll see Magneton off of that, so we'll hold that for now, but having 2 Electabuzz does mean we could put one down. And I still think it's best that we go aggressive with the Magnemite. There was a version of this list where I was considering playing Lieutenant Surge to sort of like if we have, so we could like play around with what we build up or how we play it, but it didn't end up like leading to anything. All right, so here we have some interesting decisions to make. And I think it comes down to, let's use communication. Sending the second Electabuzz, which we don't really need. Okay, we saw Magneton. Again, this list doesn't have, and by this list I mean their list, doesn't have any form of Sabrina, no Cyrus. So I think we're safe to do this. Evolve and start building up Magnezone. And then just keep poking with this. And then realistically, Electabuzz, I don't want to evolve it just yet because you never know if Thunder Spear is going to come up. And then the second thing is at any point, if we draw Volkner, we could probably set make Electivire alive. But yeah, here they could knock out Magnemite, but we do just back it up with Magnezone and it's pretty much game over. Okay, they did the 20 on Electabuzz. Again, that's irrelevant. I'm surprised that a deck with Greninja is not using Cyrus. Like, even, like, I don't know. Like, maybe the devs were aware that it wouldn't use it properly. I don't know. But yeah, now we just close it out with this Magneton here. No bench, no Rayquaza, as you can see. And I can't even say like, oh, it's just, we got lucky and they didn't see it any of the games we tried. Honestly, I've done like over 5 attempts in an attempt to find like what the right list for this challenge is, and they just don't go into it. They barely see it, to be honest. And yeah, it's honestly this simple. This list works a lot better than any other list that I tried. I tried Masquerada again, like I mentioned. Again, those are lists that do work, so I will mention and recommend them. Like, if you want to try them and if you have them, go for it. But this deck is just straight to the point, does exactly what you need to do. It's the 3 diamonds or less, meets all the requirements, and it's just perfect for this challenge. So hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully you have better luck than I have. I've yet to pull Rayquaza, but regardless, this is just the beginning of many, many videos for Celestial Guardians. There's a pack opening coming up. There's a breakdown or like a ranking video of all the cards that came out in this set. And of course, as always, the expert solo battle guides, how to beat them most efficiently. Those will come out in like the order they came out, sporadically or scattered between like all the other releases. So if you're interested in any of that, as well as whenever ranked comes out, I'll definitely be fiending that, trying to go for top 1000 once again. Regardless, if any of that sounds interesting to you or entertaining, or this video is helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, as it helps me a lot and it keeps me going. We're really close to 400, and after 400 is 500, and the sky's the limit after that. So thank y'all for watching. If you made it to this point of the video, I appreciate you a lot, and above all else, stay pro.